So I was hanging out with some friends in Discord, then I got a notification that there's a Street Fighter 6 benchmark out and available for download. For those of you who don't know, a benchmark is essentially a stress test for your specific PC build to see if you can optimally run a specific game. By the end of the test, your system will be graded on performance and your FPS averages. Today I want to give you guys the most optimal settings possible to run Street Fighter 6 at the highest FPS possible by fixing these two settings. The two settings that you should turn off right away to get the most quality and performance out of your PC are ambient occlusion and screen space reflections. These two settings will either cause slowdowns during gameplay matches, tanking your FPS while running through World Tour, Battle Hub, or both. They have very little to no effect on the visual quality of the game, so turning these off won't be an issue. I went ahead and ran some tests with both of these settings on and off, and the difference in FPS is like night and day. With it on, I noticed significant slowdowns during supers and some situations in certain areas of the stage. Battle Hub and World Tour both run way better with these settings off, with World Tour sometimes hitting the FPS cap of 120 FPS. Which brings me to my next tip. Change your maximum frame rate from 60 FPS to 120 FPS. This is 1000% worth it, mainly for World Tour and Battle Hub specifically. Street Fighter 6 in-game matches are locked at 60 FPS. They can go no higher than that. But Battle Hub lobby and World Tour can go all the way up to 120 FPS and maybe even higher. I think it is much better for those modes to at least stay above 60 FPS than to be locked under 60 FPS and to potentially drop below that. Now, most of the other basic graphic settings here you can copy since they aren't that important to the overall visual quality. I do recommend keeping the Battle Hub population to 40 people at most. It's not that taxing on your system while still maintaining the immersion of a bunch of people in your lobby. Detailed graphic settings, I personally keep everything on normal to highish range. Keeping everything around normal to high maintains high FPS without sacrificing visual quality. You can probably get away with putting everything up to high and still maintain visual quality and FPS. One setting I do recommend you don't turn off at all is bloom. Bloom gives the game the extra glow that makes it look as good as it does. Without it, a lot of the environments and characters look very bland and lack visual oomph. Standard should be enough, but you could get away with setting bloom to high. At this point, if your settings match the settings that I've given in this video, then your system should be prepared and ready to run Street Fighter 6 on launch day. If you're worried more about drive impact than your graphical settings, click this video on the screen right now and I'll have you ready for drive impact on release day.